Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Utopia podcast. We're getting ever so close to the release of NCAA Football 10. It'll be here before we know it. I am CDJ, and alongside me, Tommy, let everyone know your screen name, because I know they can't say it if they're new to the site.
Gushwendt, G-S-C-H-W-E-N-D-T. Just look for the guy with the strange username and the A-State avatar, and that'll be me.
The guy who needs to buy a vowel is what we call him.
Yes.
We had kind of a busy week this week as it relates to NCAA Football and NCAA Basketball 10. First off, the cover athlete for NCAA Basketball 10 has been announced and revealed. It's former Oklahoma star Blake Griffin. A great pick for this game, top player in the draft, pretty much the only real lock or player that's really expected to make an impact from day one in the NBA. This week on the NCAA Football 10 side of things, interesting media week. We had a lot of screenshots and pictures come out. We had 120 team stadium shots posted on Facebook. It's too bad they couldn't have posted a high-res version of these on the official site. I guess you win some, you lose some. And we also had a new feature go up on the NCAA Football 10 official website called Uniform Gallery, which shows us all of the preset alternate uniforms for the teams in the game that you can download these, fortunately, as a high-res picture to your computer. Tommy, talk about these two sets of screenshots that we had come out this week.
These were nice to see. I mean, they're screenshots and everything. I mean, they're pictures, so what do? You look at them. Although it would have been nice for EA to give us some really actual high-res shots of these. The uniforms are pretty good shots. They are in HD resolution, but the stadiums, I mean, I think they're half resolution, which you can't really do anything with. I mean, if you're wanting to make a desktop wallpaper, you can't really use them. If you're wanting to do any sort of graphic work with them, you can't use them. So, I mean, again, they're nice to look at, but that's as far as you can go with them.
The Uniform Gallery, and you and I talked about this before the show, they went with the preset alternates, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of this feature, because they start off by telling us that with the new mix and match feature, there's over 3,500 uniform combinations. Yet they only showed us the alternates. Did that strike you as odd? And maybe it's just me, but I wish they would have shown the home and away uniforms as well in that set.
Yeah, it is actually rather odd. I mean, perfect example is Oregon. You go in and you look, and they have a bunch of different shots, but all they are is multiples of the same uniform. So you don't even see the home, you don't see the away. All you see are the alternates, which, it's nice to see the alternates, but while you're there, why not just go ahead and take some shots of the actual uniforms? And then as well, it kind of is annoying that you see some teams have actual action shots, but then you, for example, take a look at Boston College, and you can see that all of their shots are taken from the opening kickoff. I hate to say it's laziness, but that's what it kind of comes off as, is that it just becomes repetitive, taking screenshots after screenshot, so they just take an easy way out. But surely there's some sort of code or script or something that they could have run that could have gotten much better actual screenshots. But I'm not on their side, so I can't go into that.
It just seems very bizarre, but I think a lot of the marketing and PR this year falls under that category. That it would have been nice in this feature that's supposed to show off the over 3,500 uniform options to actually see all of our options by including the home and away. This week, we also had a couple videos come out, and they all came out within the last 24 hours, mainly just today on June 26th. We're going to break them down real quickly here. The big one is some raw gameplay video, something the community's been asking for the last 2 months. They've been clamoring, please, give us some real gameplay footage, not highlights, not montages. Don't let us rely on media sites. Show us something on your end here. The good part is they did that today. The bad part is they used Oklahoma and Florida again, two teams that we could just use in the demo and see. I know we've had a chance to watch this once or twice before the show started. Tommy, what did you think of this raw gameplay video footage of Oklahoma versus Florida?
Again, like you mentioned, we've seen Oklahoma and Florida. Show us something else. Show us Georgia Tech versus Georgia, so we can get a look at the new flex bone. Show us something that we haven't seen before. The good thing is that this is a human versus human game, and what that actually ends up highlighting is the effectiveness of aggressive sliders. In this game, you see that both people turn on aggressive for running and for tackling. So you see a lot of fumbles in this video, and that's because they both have them as aggressive. If one had it as conservative, then there may not be nearly as many fumbles. Or, if they both had it as conservative, maybe you never see a single fumble. It's interesting just to see, how this is going to affect, especially online head-to-head, and especially online dynasties as well, how this will end up affecting gameplay and changing your strategy on the fly.
That is one good thing, is that it's two humans playing each other, and I think this is one of the first few times we've seen this. So a very good start. This video shows the first quarter of action between Oklahoma and Florida. Florida. It's in the Orange Bowl. Hopefully we'll see more of these down the line, hopefully with other teams, and hopefully they'll let us know what difficulty setting they have the game on.
Before we move on, I do want to say that it's rather frustrating to see at the end of the video, the very last play is a 57-yard field goal. I know that you and I saw this at the community day, that they had actually toned down the field goal kicking during the community day, and we expect that to be carried over into the final product. And actually, after hearing some developers talk about after the demo came out, it sounded like they expected it to be that the field goal shouldn't be as overblown as it is. Obviously, we see, at least in this video, that it is still, too easy to kick an unrealistic field goal.
Another video, this one was called Every Game Counts. It's kind of been the theme or mantra for the game. Ties into Season Showdown where everything counts and adds up. This one is kind of a video. It's set to a song. It's set to Live Your Dreams by John Martin. I really like the idea behind this. I'm not so much a fan of the execution and the song choice. Maybe that's just a radio DJ wannabe in me saying that. But Tommy, what did you think of this clip? First off, the intent of it, and then second, the execution of it.
The intent's kind of nice just because it's another one of those sizzle videos. It's supposed to get you pumped up. Put it on mute, then you can kind of see yourself getting pumped up if they had set it to the right music. But then as soon as the volume is turned up and you start hearing this slow, melodic music, it has nothing to do with the excitement of college football. It doesn't pump you up and make you want to go hit somebody in the mouth or anything like that. It's just kind of, it's like it should be on some teen melodrama TV show or something, that it just doesn't belong.
To me, it seemed like something you would see at the end of a season, like maybe if you, for like a highlight video, if you had some kind of emotional season, but it's not something for what I would say a video game where you're trying to get the crowd and get your audience and market pumped up leading up to release. But if they put out a series of these, I think that'll help to kind of negate this and say, okay, you're coming at it from different angles. But if this is the only one we get like this, then it's definitely going to be really an odd choice. But then again, I understand it's probably didn't cost much to license this song and get the rights to it. It's probably kind of a give and take situation. The third video and final one that they posted today talks about the exclusive offer for Team Builder slots if you pre-order the game at GameStop. If you pre-order NCAA Football 10 at GameStop, you'll get an extra 13 slots for Team Builder. And nothing too earth-shattering in this video besides a major spelling error at the end. Only people like me notice that, so I will let that slide. One good thing, I know, Tommy, you mentioned this, I'll let you talk about it. We get our first look at the in-game interface for Team Builder and how that works.
Yeah, we finally get to actually see how it's going to work once you're actually in the game. A lot of people have been questioning what do they have to do in order to get this down to their console. They're worried about, are they going to have flash drives? Is it going to be 360 compatible and all this other stuff? But now we actually see that there is going to be a menu option from within the game. You go in, you do a search for the type of school you're trying to find, if you know the author's name, etc. And after you've done your search, your results pop up, and it'll give you the option to download the particular school that you've been trying to find.
Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Utopia podcast. But first, next week should be a busy week. That's when Road to Glory will be unveiled. I believe IGN has first rights to that, and after that, other media sites will be able to talk about it. So next week's show will probably have a big focus on Road to Glory, this new feature or reworked feature coming to NCAA Football 10. Before we end the show, every week we end it the same way. We have a countdown. As of June 26th, Tommy, how many days away are we from the release of NCAA Football 10?
We've got 17 days and some change. We're getting close. Just a little over 2 weeks left, but still, impatience is starting to wear thin.
I'm in the same boat. I'm just ready for this game to come out. It's great seeing this media in the meantime, but let's just get to the game. So, for Tommy, I'm Chris. Everyone, thanks for listening to this edition of the Utopia podcast.